Welcome back to A Hatter's Walk. The Sheffield Wednesday fans are not happy. Dick Turpin wore a mask. How much did you pay him? Daylight robbery, they said. But RC says, don't let that mask an awful performance for 75 minutes until an awful decision from the ref. Never a penalty, never a red. 11-11, we come away with absolutely nothing. To review that crazy game, and certainly the last crazy 10 minutes of it, we've got Mark and Dan back with us on Where Hatters Walk. So this is going to be a good one. All right, welcome back to the quickest and most compact review of all things Luton Town on the internet. 20-minute podcast, this one. You can listen to it on Spotify, or of course you can subscribe and click the like button as well. We're also talking about right backs this week after we did our quick match review, and also talking about Sacktober and who's going next in the managerial merry-go-round. And we're also going to put Mark under the spotlight and find out a little bit more about him and his history with supporting Luton Town. Let's go straight into it. Dan, kick us off. Did Luton get lucky?
I think in terms of getting a penalty and a late goal for questionable handballs, yes, in those terms. I mean, it was a very poor performance, I thought, for the first 75 minutes or so. It wasn't us, I thought Wednesday were the better side. I think we sort of got back into it when Bannan was taken off. Yeah, I mean, I might as well get straight to the penalty. I couldn't see it at the time. Very difficult because there was a little bit of ping ball going on in the penalty box at the time. But having watched it back, my first instinct was, no, it's not a penalty. But then when you look at the rules, if you move your arm towards the ball and you're on the line, you really give the referee no option. So in that term, yeah, it is a penalty. It's harsh though, and if I was a Wednesday fan, I'd be sick to the stomach. The Morris one, the second one, I don't think is a handball really. I think you can't do a lot when it moves towards you. He hasn't moved the ball, his arm towards the ball, so I don't think it's a penalty. It's a handball there at all. But there were some positives. I thought the German lad Kraus looked really good when he came on. He sort of gets it. He was geeing up the crowd in his little 20-minute cameo. We won a corner and he's jumping at the crowd, getting them to working them up and stuff. So he's instantly won himself the fans there, and he played quite well. Played some nice passes. But yeah, largely, I don't think we deserve much, but we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll come on to Kraus in a second. There's lots of tweets about him. Mark, you saw it as well. Did you see it the same way Dan has?
Much the same. I think for the first 60, 70 minutes, we struggled to make an impact, struggled to get any momentum in the game, and Thomas Kaminski saved us again.
Yeah, he did.
Sheffield Wednesday had the better chances. Brilliant reflex save from Kaminski, stopped us going behind. And the one person you don't want the ball to fall to in acres of space is Barry Bannan, and he just sort of knew what he was going to do. And then I think the substitutions really changed the game. The dynamics of the substitutions that we made, getting Carlton on, obviously Tom Kraus had a great impact, and also Victor Moses. If that's just a brief introduction of what we're going to expect from Victor Moses, then there's going to be more exciting times ahead. But I agree that the fact that he moved his shoulder towards the ball, that's what swayed the referee. But you got to give Carlton Morris all the credit. I mean, I think he's still walking off Kenworth Road pitch now.
He took forever, didn't he?
So yeah, cool as you like, and yeah, probably didn't deserve the win, but that's two wins on the trot, not playing our best. So yeah, we're sort of getting a little bit of momentum, and the performances will come to match the results, hopefully.
Okay. Let's have a look at some of the other comments. Thought it was never a pen, but slowed right down. It's right on the borderline of arm, its shoulder. Got very, very lucky. Cynical Hatter says terrible for 17 minutes, though, as you've already said today. And then the Kraus ones, Dan, as you said. Wayno says once fully fit, he's going to run the league. He was everywhere when he came on. Always wanted the ball and drive the team forward. Class player, says Luke. Changed the game when he came on. A spitting image of another Luton legend. Honestly, he changed the game, played with passion, and can't wait to fall in love with another lone player and get my heart broken when he goes back, says Will. All right. I mean, I've watched the highlights, and of course, they don't show,
No.
with the substitutions coming on and the impact he's made. So you'll have to guide me here. Just what was it about his impact that he made when he came on that impressed you the most, Dan? You saw him geeing up the crowd, but what was it about his tactical performance that impressed you?
Funnily enough, I know Luke, and I was having that conversation with him yesterday. But but no, he just played. He just did everything simple, effective. So very similar to when Marvelous Nakamba made his debut. You know, Marv sits in a holding role, and just it can be the holding role can be really difficult to play, and Marv just made it look simple. And I thought Kraus did a similar thing. He just kept everything simple. Always wanted the ball. Always had an idea. So he's always thinking, okay, when I've got the ball, where can I go with it? Made sure he had made space for himself. Made sure he had time on the ball. Sprayed his passes well, whether he was going left, right, or straight on. And his movement was great as well. He just seemed to be. It was like, I suppose, like Wednesday having Bannan for the first hour, but 10 years younger and a lot more hair than him, so, essentially. But yeah, I think once he gets involved and a bit more and plays a bit more, I think he'll be a serious good player.
Okay. Mark, the league is starting to take shape a little bit now after 6 games. And when you look at the 3 teams that came down, Burnley, Sheffield United and yourselves, those 2 are going pretty good guns and putting in some pretty effective performances. You seem to be labouring, even in the wins you've had recently. It hasn't been vintage Luton, and not certainly the Luton we saw 2 years ago in the Championship. What would you put that down to? Why are the other 2 relegated sides performing consistently well? Why aren't you up there with them?
Well, I mean, I've said before, I'm not concerned. It's 5 or 6 games, and people are trying to judge us on a season when, like, we've got new signings that are still trying to hit the ground. We've got, I think we probably, like we've said on previous shows, sound like a stuck record, but the injuries that we're just getting people back, and we are now at a stage where the thing that really liked on Saturday was the strength of the bench and the options we had coming off the bench, and that's because people are now fit. So I see as to, yes, the performances aren't where they need to be, but that will come as players get minutes, as players get used to different formations and different playing with different players. But yeah, we always start slow. I mean, I think the season we went up, we didn't win in the first 4 or 5 games. So yeah, I mean, it's a slow start, but nothing new. And I think we're going to hit a bit of form. The performances will come, and if you're winning games without playing well, you're grinding out results. I think it's a good sign.
Okay. Have you packed your suitcases yet for your Friday night trip to the coast? Are either you heading to Plymouth as for the next game?
Yeah, I'm on a train Friday morning and staying over in Plymouth and coming back Saturday. So I wouldn't say I'm packed yet, but I'm getting looking forward to it.
Well, that is a true fan. Dan, are you making this journey?
I'm unable to. No, I've got it's my weekend, so my son, so we're going to watch it on Friday at home.
Right.
Yeah, if he's good, he can stay up. If he's not, he's missing it. So.
Okay. All right. Cheers for that review. Then drop your comments below. Were Luton lucky, or actually do you make your own look in this league to actually deserve those points in the end? All right, then let's have a look then at some right backs, and then this will conclude our review of all the defensive positions. So, I realise that not all these players will play right back, but transfermarket.com gives you 5, even though I think most of them will play in other positions across the park. Mark, in terms of strength and depth, is this a position that you're concerned about, or actually you think, no, this is one of our better options we have?
I'm not concerned. I mean, Rule Walters is going to be one of the signings of the season. We got him from Arsenal, and then when Rule didn't play at Millwall, Alfie Doherty switched to the right. We had Amari Bell on the left, so we've got people that can interact. Hashioka's still out injured, so yeah, it doesn't concern me. I mean, we're fortunate that we've got cover if, like, where Real Walters wasn't available for Millwall.
Mm. And it strikes me, I mean, we've done all these positions, as we say now, and we've done goalkeepers with your centre-backs, we've done left-backs and right-backs, and every week both of you have said, not concerned, this is an area that we're all right in. So defensively, when I ask you now, how strong are we? We're going to go 10 out of 10, aren't we? On paper, Luton have got a really good setup in terms of strength and depth defensively, probably more so than maybe Sheffield United have, in all honesty. But Dan, where would you rate it out of 10 in terms of that back line? How strong is it going forward?
I'm tempted to go with a 10 because I think, as Mark just said, Walters has been absolutely brilliant. Reece Burke I think they changed the formation a little bit late on Saturday, and Reece Burke sort of filled in at right back. And when he's fit, he's absolutely brilliant when he's not made of glass. Hashioka has took a long time to settle in, and he's injured now. So I'm hoping he's using that time to settle in a bit better. And hopefully when he comes back, he won't be playing centre-half because that's where he got completely found out last year. But yeah, no, I think we're quite well covered in those positions. So I'm really happy. There's no complaints here from me at all.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, go along with that. I mean, the centre back, when you think we got Reece Burke, who are considered to be our best central defender, and you got Ted and Mengi, McGuinness. You still got Mads Anderson to come back. So we've got the defence. If Rob wants to switch from a back 5 to a flat back 4 to change the midfield, we've got the defenders to change it around. And funny enough, talking about left backs last week, Alfie Doherty, fantastic news that he signed a new contract the day after. So that's just great news. I think a lot of clubs are looking at him. So I'm happy that we've got flexibility at the back to accommodate different teams.
Okay. All right, then. Into October we go, where most managers fear the most because it's the month they end up getting the sack. There is no chance that Rob Edwards is going to be anywhere near that position. We've spoken about that before, so we'll move on from that one. Mark, we're going to ask you to talk a little bit more about your devotion to Luton, if that's okay, in a new section called Getting to Know You. Forgive me, let me just find in my cheesy background music for a second, and Dan will just drop you out if that's okay for a second. Don't go too far though. All right then, Mark, talk to us briefly then about what was the first Luton game you attended as a young Hatter.
25th of April 1981, we lost at home to Oldham 2-1. So it was the last game of the 80-81 season. Bought a season ticket off the back of that game. Then we got promotion next year to the First Division, just thinking we were going to dominate the world. And then that started the up and down journey of being a Hatter. And I've sort of been going 40 odd years and supporting them since then. And then the last 3 years, I've crazily cycle to the away games for charity. So it's clubs in my blood, and it's just the club is an important part of my life, and it has been for 40 years. And it's never dull, it's never boring following Luton, and enjoy the highs, and it's just like it's just been a roller coaster. I think it's the best way to describe it.
Absolutely, yeah. And we know that charity work, so many fans herald you for what you've done, and the amount of money you've raised for very good causes. A few more on these one. Who's your favourite player growing up to watch?
Oh, I've got to be Ricky Hill. Just so graceful, so elegant. He was just, that great team of the 80s, the Steens, Harford, but Mal Donaghy, but Ricky Hill was my favourite. Such a classy player, and like a lot of that team, if they played for a more fashionable club, that have played for England a lot more.
Okay. Favourite away ground to visit?
Oh, favourite away ground when we win. I wouldn't say it's a favourite away ground. Most satisfying win, obviously, is Watford, but I wouldn't say it's my favourite away ground. But that's a difficult one. I don't really have a favourite in terms of the place I look forward to going to. I think it's more about the result. Places where you've had good memories of good days out. That's a difficult one.
Okay. And finally, tell us about the one Luton game that you'll remember forever. What's been your favourite one out of all the ones you've attended in that 40-year I was call it career, but 40-year punishment.
Yeah, I mean, I always remember the Littlewoods Cup final against Arsenal. Just remember that day of seeing us lift the trophy, and people were trying to compare the player final for different reasons, the journey that we'd been on. So I know you asked for one, but it's the two were the player final. Something I never thought I'd see us in the Premier League, but also seeing us lift a major trophy was the stuff of dreams.
Brilliant. That's what we do all the hard yards for, isn't it? And don't forget, I'm sure you've been to those Hereford away on a Tuesday night down in the bottom, haven't you? And Walsall, yeah, absolutely. Credit to you, Mark. Thank you for sharing all that. And Dan, don't escape that. We'll do you next week and find out about your how you fell in love with the Hatters. Thank you very much, both of you. Another good wrap-up, and we'll see you on the other side of your meeting with Wayne Rooney on Friday night, and we'll be watching it live on Sky. So I shall look forward to seeing some good football, hopefully. Although I'm not holding my breath.
It's the hope that kills you.
Yes. Cheers, fellas. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done already. Do like it, and we'll be back with Mark, Dan, and Sam if he's ever back from Freshers Week. Where are you, Sam? You've started Freshers Week. Well, he's got some stories to tell. Thank you, fellas. We'll see you next week.
Bye.